Yeah, what up? What's the word? What up, what up, what up? Appreciate y'all checking me out. As always, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do our thing today. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about whether or not the Lakers are going to extend LeBron James's contract. All right. Now, me personally, my opinion, my 10 cents, I'm just not so sure that they'll be doing that. The reason being is just because the level or lack thereof, the level of success that's been the LeBron James era. They mortgaged away their whole future. They mortgaged away all of their young cornerstone players. They mortgaged away their draft picks to bring in Anthony Davis. They cut into the luxury tax to bring in Russell Westbrook, traded away more younger players. And now they have this whole thing with Kyrie Irving. And whether or not they're gonna get Kyrie Irving, to me, it's a possibility. It's a chance for sure, for sure. It's kind of beside the point right now. Well, not really though, because I guess what you got to ask yourself is, do you want to commit another 45 to $50 million to LeBron James per year? That's not even like however long he gonna sign a contract. However long an extension would be, my guess would be about 2 or 3 years. Let's say they get Kyrie Irving over there. Let's say Anthony Davis is fully healthy. Do you put essentially you'd be putting the future in the hands of Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis? All right. And Kyrie wants a 4 year extension, 5 year extension, whatever it is. Anthony Davis is not a free agent until 2024 to 2025, the end of that season. But he does have an early termination option. So that's something to keep your eye out on as well. The interesting thing about the situation, though, is LeBron James. All right. That's just the bottom line. If he is eligible for an extension now, why haven't the Lakers extended him? Why haven't the Lakers extended LeBron James? And it's because they seem like they are as skeptical about re-signing him as I would be, as I am. I'm pretty skeptical myself about re-signing LeBron James to an extension, especially because my belief is that LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving is not going to guarantee you a championship. You have three great players, but on a night to night basis, do you have the best team on the court? You understand what I'm asking? You have three great players. You have three of the top, whatever, let's say fucking 30 players. I don't know. You have three of the top 30 players in the NBA. But on a night to night basis, do you have a team better than the team that you're going up against? And I'm not so sure about it. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Again, if we have a healthy Anthony Davis and a Kyrie Irving that's not so emotionally invested in whatever the fuck is going on around the world at the time. Here's the interesting part: the Genie Bus tweet. The Genie Bus tweet was very interesting for those who have not seen or have not heard about the Genie Bus tweet. I'm about to pull it up for y'all, and I'm gonna let you read it on your own. Let's see. Well, I'll read it out loud, but if you know, it'll be here if you want to read it on your own. Look at this. So Jeannie tweeted, she said, "I miss KB," meaning, of course, the late great Kobe Bryant. "I miss KB. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. Honestly, he was the greatest Laker ever. He understood team over self, meaning your rewards will come if you value team goals over your own, then everything will fall into place. All can reply. That's how she finished it, right? Now, here's my thing. Let me see. There we go. Here's my thing. That to me seems like Jeannie trying to hold LeBron accountable. I mean, that's just what it seemed like to me. It's with Jeannie saying something like Kobe Bryant is the greatest Laker ever. That's a big statement from Jeannie Buss, because you got to keep in mind, man, this chick been around. She been around some of the greatest NBA players to ever play the game. You know what I mean? Her father, her father had a lot to do with that. So with her saying that Kobe Bryant is the greatest Laker ever, it just seemed like that's definitely a shot at LeBron, because when you look at it, Kobe Bryant won back-to-back titles with who? This dude almost three-peated. Kobe almost three-peated with dudes like Sasha Vujacic, Jordan Farmar. He had my man Lamar Odom. We all know when Lamar Odom was like the first of the Kardashian curse guy, right? I mean, Kobe won this thing. Kobe won with the least amount of all stars and superstars. Now he did three-peat with Shaq. That was a great team. All right, that was a great team. After the Shaq era, Kobe did it practically by himself. Kobe Bryant was the. I mean, looking back at it, I never liked Kobe, but looking back at it, Kobe Bryant was the epitome of a basketball player. He was everything you wanted in a basketball player. At times, it seemed like he was a little bit selfish. I think that was the competitive edge of Kobe Bryant, right? I think he had the intensity. I think he had the competitive edge. He had the work ethic. He had the ability, until his body just started breaking down on him altogether, right? Now, when you look at those facts about Kobe Bryant, it's not necessarily the case with LeBron. It's just not. It's not necessarily the case with LeBron. Let's just say, let's just say he had a rough time in Cleveland. All right. He had a rough time in Cleveland because Cleveland, Dan Gilbert was not an owner who wanted to do the things that LeBron wanted him to do. It just seemed like he didn't really want to make the big splashes. Now, they would pay their players, they would get their players played, but they would never really bring in the level of talent that LeBron James needed to compete with the rest of the league. All right. The pieces that they did try to get him, I mean, it didn't really work. They got the title that they got. He had his Eastern Conference appearances. The league has changed drastically since then. LeBron has come to the Lakers. I can imagine hoping to have the keys handed to him. And I feel like the Lakers, Jeannie Buss, that whole staff, I think that they started off on that path. They started off saying, oh, yeah, we got LeBron. Let's go ahead and get him whatever else it is that he needs, right? And it just hasn't really been a very high level of success. So now what we got going on is another situation where Kyrie is trying to get to the Lakers and LeBron is trying to push them to get Kyrie Irving. There's not necessarily nothing wrong with that. But if you are the Lakers, if you the Lakers brass, I can imagine that they tired of that shit. I can imagine that they want to take back ownership of their franchise and actually really restore the glory of the Lakers, because there haven't been much to talk about the Lakers. I mean, they won the championship the year of the bubble. Prior to that and anything after that, it just really haven't been much to talk about. All of it is just publicity. It's all just publicity. It seemed like it's all just a splash. Like it's just about making a splash. We haven't been very successful, but if we can keep the media and basketball fans and whoever else talking about us, then that's exposure. That's a win there. When the fact of the matter is that it don't look like the Lakers are going to be extending LeBron James. That's my 10 cents. Now, where would LeBron go? Where would LeBron go after that? Do we go to Cleveland? If I'm Cleveland, I don't want Bron back. We are in a post LeBron era. We made the playoffs. We just signed our guy. We got great rookies, young players over here. I'm straight. I don't need LeBron and his $45-50 million contract for the next 2 years coming back over here and fucking up what I got going on. I just don't need that. So I'm very skeptical about the Lakers re-signing LeBron James. Again, it seems like if they were going to re-sign him, they would have just re-signed him. Now, I know that they do still have a little expiration date or something like that. It's like August or something, August, September. They have a certain deadline to make the deal happen before it's just we'll have to work on it this up and coming off season or whatever it is. Okay, I'm not sure about the specifics. I really didn't look into it too much. But the fact of the matter is that they have not re-signed LeBron James to an extension. And now, if you LeBron James, you got to be goddamn offended. If you LeBron James and you see all these other motherfuckers getting these contract extensions, the Devin Bookers, the Jokic, like all of these dudes that's just got contract extensions over this past, whatever month, free agency, whatever you want to call it. If you LeBron, you got to be very, very offended. But it's like, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, obviously, Los Angeles is where you want to be. So where do you go from here? If you are LeBron James and you cannot get that deal done, are you looking into the future? Or are you saying, well, hey, maybe it's other teams in mind I need to start looking at? I would really personally like to know which one of these teams. I would like to know what team would even be really willing to take LeBron at this point. I really would like to know who would be willing to take on a $45-50 million contract. All right. I don't know personally, but I'm not so sure I will resign LeBron James. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Would y'all resign? Would you resign LeBron James to a 2-3 year extension for $45-50 million? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of preference, I guess. Me personally, I'm ready to go on and move past that. Let's go ahead and start trying to put together, not just have some of the best players on the court or in the league on my team. I actually want a good team. I want a great team. I want a team with depth. I want guys who know their roles top to bottom. I don't want all these $100 million egos on my team personally. So I would have to say no to LeBron James re-signing with the Lakers. If I'm Jeannie Buss in the Lakers, I'm ready to go ahead and start getting ready for the future. And who knows? Maybe Kyrie Irving is a part of that future. Maybe you say I can get this done with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, or just Kyrie Irving, or whatever. Maybe you move on from Anthony Davis too. But me personally, I'm just moving on. I'm trying to get whatever type of assets I can back from this situation. And I think the Lakers' best case scenario is to maybe try to trade for some future picks, or just clearing all of this roster off of the books and starting from scratch, because nothing they have been doing lately has been working. I personally don't think the Lakers will be winning any championships no time soon. And the more time progresses, the more that window closes. All right. But again, that's me. That's me and my 10 cents. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.